Vinyl wasn't part of my life until recently. What started as a borrowed turntable from my in-laws has become one of the most grounding parts of my analog journey. Here is my current setup. There are 5 essentials: a turntable, a Phono preamp, speakers, and records, along with the interconnecting cables. Since this all started on a whim, I wanted to build my setup as simply and affordable as possible, reusing what I could and only adding when it felt necessary. Along the way, I became something of a Facebook marketplace connoisseur. I was lucky enough to inherit a couple of turntables and vinyls from my in-laws. Very cool people, by the way. The turntable. I began with the Sony turntable only because the Rega Planar 2 was missing a stylus. I ordered a replacement Grado green stylus for the Rega for 2 reasons. First, since the table is technically on loan, my in-laws wanted it fitted with the same brand it originally came with. And second, Grado offers a range of styli at different levels of quality, but even the entry-level green is diamond tipped. So technically, lots of bang for buck.
When I swapped out the Sony for the Rega and lowered the tone arm on one of my favorite albums by Bob Marley, I was deeply confused at first because the sound was so incredibly different than the Sony. And then I realized I was hearing a wider soundstage. Bob's voice had so much more depth all of a sudden. I could hear each of the differences in the backup singers. I heard the harmonies richer. The bass was significantly deeper. And in some of the live songs, when the crowd was cheering or chattering, it felt like I was actually part of the crowd listening to Bob and his band on stage. It was absolutely surreal. And for everybody who recommended that I upgrade to the Rega turntable and replace the stylus, you were absolutely right. This has become my go-to deck.
The next piece I needed was a Phono preamp. Its job is simple. It boosts the signal from the turntable to a level that speakers can actually play. Some turntables have one built in, but mine didn't. I went with an entry-level preamp to get started. There's a whole world of options and upgrades out there, but for me, this worked just fine. The speakers. My vinyl setup lives in my study, the space where I journal, read, work on videos, and reflect. It's my refuge in the house. Because the room is small, I didn't need huge speakers. Years ago, I received a pair of Edifier 1700 BTS bookshelf speakers as commissioned for a photography gig. Some audiophiles might tell me to upgrade immediately, but I love them. They're loud, nuanced to my ears, and they look great. Because they're powered speakers, I don't need a separate amplifier. The one upgrade I recently did make was adding the matching Edifier T5 subwoofer. It brings depth to the sound, though I usually keep it dialed pretty low, just enough bass to feel present without overwhelming the room. The most important part of this journey is, of course, the vinyls themselves. My in-laws passed down a large collection ranging from jazz in the 50s to music in the 80s, more than enough to keep me listening for a year. To fill in the gaps, I turned again to Facebook Marketplace. The used vinyl space is vast, fun, and often incredibly affordable. The trade-off, of course, is condition. Many records are dusty or grimy. I picked up a spin record cleaner, which vinyl enthusiasts highly recommend, and it's brought most of my used records back to life. In fact, almost all of them are pop and crackle free. The one thing I didn't realize, there's a ritual to cleaning and preparing a record that actually adds to the experience. It reinforces that intentionality and slow living. When buying used, I always check for scratches or scuffs. And other than Marketplace, record vinyl shops are another great avenue to find used and new vinyls. Like bookstores, record shops have become a favorite place to wander and get lost in. Records take up space. There's no way around it. I wanted something functional but also stylish for my study. I found an IKEA Fjällbo shelf on Marketplace that fits about 200 records, more than I own for now. It has that industrial retro vibe that suits the space perfectly, while also holding my turntable and other essentials like a printer. The vinyl journey has been exactly what I hoped it would be, a slower, more intentional way to engage with music. For me, it's not about what format is better, it's about finding what works to match the intentions that one sets out for themselves.
Some people love streaming, others love CDs.
There is quite a lot of passion out there about the listening format.
And hey, whatever works for you. I found myself drawn to vinyl because it demands intention. You don't just press play, you commit to listening, to giving the music your time and attention. There's something grounding about holding an album, reading the sleeve, and hearing the needle catch the groove. Looking ahead, I may explore modern turntables from brands like Fluence or Audio-Technica, or even expand to a second setup in our living room since my family has been enjoying vinyl as much as I have. For now, though, this setup feels right, and I'm having a lot of fun learning as I go.